Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel So Little Time, and my name is Karen. So I hope you're all doing really well, and thank you very much for joining me today. Today I thought I would share with you my pledge for Me Made May and how I'm going to approach it this year. I really do love the Me Made May challenge, and I usually set myself to sort of do an evaluation of my wardrobe, and the way I do that is sort of challenging myself to wear a different Me Made every single day and documenting it on my Instagram page and sharing with you any changes that I've made and the size and that kind of thing really. And it just gives me sort of an overview of what I am reaching for and what I'm not reaching for. And then at the end of the month I usually evaluate what I have worn and anything that I feel that I haven't been reaching for. You know, do I like it anymore? Do I need to rehome it? And if there are any gaps as well in my wardrobe that I'd like to fill. So I felt that I didn't need to take that approach this year because I've done that successfully now for the past couple of times that I've participated in Me Made May, and I already know where the gaps are in my wardrobe at the moment that I could fill, and everything that I've got in my wardrobe at the moment I do feel like I will wear. So there isn't really anything in there that I don't like anymore. You know, I've done the cull of that quite a few times now. So I thought this time my approach will be slightly different because I really did want to join in, but I just had to have a kind of think of how I could join in without documenting a different Me Made every single day. And it kind of takes that pressure off as well, wearing something different every day and documenting it, because that does take time. And sometimes I do like to wear things 2 times in a row, you know. So yeah, that was the challenge that I set myself personally last time. So this time I decided to look into my fabric stash. Now I have a moderate fabric stash, I would say, and I just felt like some fabrics had been sat in there for quite a significant amount of time. And the reason for that is because I have procrastinated cutting into them. And to be honest, some of them will be because of the cost of the fabric and the fact it's quite a precious fabric and I'm a little bit nervous about cutting into it. And then the other reason is because I've been procrastinating making up the pattern that I'd lined up for it, because I do usually buy my fabrics with a pattern already in mind. Whether I have that pattern or not really. So yeah, the first one that I'm going to share with you that I have been really scared to cut into is a fabric that I have had in my stash for 4 years. Now, if some of you were watching me in my earlier vlogging sort of lifetime, then you will have seen this fabric already. And I bought it from Guthrie Ghani when I visited there for Sew Brum about 4 years ago, and it is this gorgeous boiled wool in a teal colourway. It's absolutely stunning, this fabric, and it's really good quality. I can't remember how much it was a metre, and I think I've possibly bought 2.5 meters of it, and it cost me about, I think, £75 in total. So it was quite expensive at the time of purchase, and that is one of the reasons that I've been really scared to cut into it, because it's such gorgeous quality and it was very expensive. The most sort of expensive fabric that I've ever bought. So I had this lined up to make the Sew Over It Chloe coat, and I'll insert a photo of what that looks like. And I still do really like that pattern, and it is one that I would like to make up in the future. But I've decided to change my mind with this fabric as to what I'm going to make with it, purely because I just feel like if I leave it lined up with that pattern, I'm never going to make it. Now, I have got fabric in my stash as well that I bought around the same time as this to make a toile of that coat, and so I will still do that, and I've got all the fabric and the notions lined up to make that toile. I just need to get round to making it up basically. And the reason that I sort of have put that pattern on the back burner is because I think I'm going to have some fit issues with it, because it is quite a straight style, and with me being a pear shape I need something a little bit more A-line, so I know I'm going to have to make a few adjustments to get that coat to fit me adequately. So I have decided to change the pattern that I'm going to use for this fabric, and it will just encourage me to actually get it sewn up and get it being worn basically. So the pattern that I have chosen is one that I've actually made previously, so I do feel quite confident in cutting into this fabric, knowing that it will fit me and I will like the end result. So the pattern I've chosen, I've just got a little cut out here, is this So Different Longline jacket. and I have made this in the past, so I'll insert a photo of my previous version, which I absolutely love, and I was very fortunate last year to showcase that on the catwalk at the Stitch Festival for So Different. And yeah, I'm just really proud of that make. It was a really lovely sew. It's actually quite a straightforward sew as well. It's an unlined jacket, and it just has real nice style lines to it that fit my body shape really, really nicely. So I know that I can make the same size that I've done previously and that it will fit me really nicely. And I think it means that this fabric will get worn. Yeah, so that is what I'm planning to make with that. And even though it is a jacket that is sort of edge to edge, it doesn't do up. I know I can layer it up with a nice chunky scarf in the winter, and there's enough room in the size that I made previously to wear a jumper or something underneath. So I don't feel like it matters if I can't do it up, because I am just going to plan on making the same size that I made previously, just because I like how that fits on me. Yeah, this is an unlined jacket, so I am going to have to finish the raw seams on the inside. I didn't on the previous one because it was a jacquard fabric that was sort of reversible. You could use the fabric either way, so you couldn't see my overlocking stitches as such because it was quite a busy fabric on the inside. But with this being a plain fabric, I do feel like I'm going to have to finish the raw edges on the inside. So I will need to get some bias binding to complement this fabric, but yeah, I'm just really excited now to get this fabric out of my wardrobe and made into something. Yeah, so that's quite exciting. So yeah, I do highly recommend that pattern. That is a really nice one to make, and with it being a plain fabric as well, it does mean that it will get more wear because I can wear it with a lot of my other garments that I've obviously got in my wardrobe, because it doesn't matter sort of if they're plain or patterned, whereas my jacquard fabric one, I could really only wear that with a plain outfit, so it hasn't had as much wear as I'd have liked it to have had, and it does seem in the jacquard fabric that it's a bit more of a dressier style as well. So yeah, really excited to get that one made up now. So the second fabric that I'll share with you is actually some raincoat fabric. So this isn't precious as such, but I have procrastinated making this one just because of the pattern that I have lined up for it. I've been sort of debating about what size to make really. So this is the fabric here. It's really quite funky, but I have gone for the more muted colour tone because this does come in, I think, 2 other colourways which are quite vibrant and bright, and although I do really like bright colours, I just felt that because this is quite a funky print, that I think the muted colourway is just a little bit more suited to me personally. And I've got all of the fabric for the lining and the notions lined up to be able to make this as well, so I just need to crack on with making it. Now, I'm not scared of cutting into this fabric per se, but it is one of those types of fabrics that you can't really make a mistake with, especially with it being sort of a plasticky type of material. You know, I'm not going to be using pins or anything like that, and I'm not looking to make a waterproof coat. It's just going to be sort of like a lightweight raincoat for when you have a shower really, because I already do have a standard sort of raincoat that is of a bit of a thicker quality fabric really. Yeah, so I really do like this. I like the design on it, and the pattern that I've got lined up for that one, which I'm not changing, I'm still going to use the same pattern, is the Lara Sanna Truffle raincoat. So it does come with 2 variations, so you can have one which has got poppers down the front, and there is one just with a zip as well. So I think I'm going to be doing the zip version, but with the popper thing that goes over the front of it, and I will be doing the one with the hood as well. And I really like this style because it is fairly A-line, so I feel that will fit my shape really nicely. Yeah, so I have the lining fabric lined up for it as well, which I got from a friend. She gifted it to me, and it's this lovely sort of greeny colourway, which I think matches really nicely. And then I've got some slippy lining fabric, which I bought from Felicity Fabrics, which again will complement the colour scheme quite nicely. So I can use that for the sleeves to enable me to get my arms in and out okay. I've got the popper kit, which is from Prim, and this is the 15mm set, which says sport and camping, so I think they're quite durable as well. And then I've also got this grey chunky zip to go with it, so that's a 28-inch zip. So yeah, the colour scheme, I feel like I've got that spot on for making it, but I just need to get round to actually making it. And it's not the fabric that is kind of making me not make it, it's the pattern, and it's purely because I'm not sure what size to make. Now, the sizing they give you on the inside of this pattern, it is just sort of via your body measurements. It doesn't give you a finished garment measurement chart, which is how I usually determine what size I'm going to make. So if you are somebody who has made this pattern before, let me know what the sizing is like. I'd be interested to hear. And because it is A-line, I think it will be fine going over my hips. I don't feel like I'm going to have to grade between two sizes or anything. Now, I've been looking at the pattern, and I have looked on Instagram at other people's makes, and there isn't really anybody that's shared what size they've made, or if they have, they haven't given their body measurements, so I can't really determine, you know, what the ease is built into it. But I've been looking at this, and it goes from a size 34 to 48, and the inches for that is, let's see, so if my bust measurement is about a 35 inch, my waist is about a 30 inch, and my hips are about a 42 inch. So looking at the the body measurements on this chart, I'd be looking at a size between a size 42 and a 44, which gives me more than enough ease for the bust area because that's bigger than what I am. But the waist for a 42 is 30 inches and 5/8, and the 44 is a 32 and a quarter inch. And then the hips for a 42 are 40 inch and a quarter, and for the 44 it's 41 inches and 3/4. So slightly less than what I am, but I'm guessing there will be some ease obviously built into this pattern. And I don't want it to be too oversized because I want it to be a lightweight coat. So it's not one that I'm going to be layering up with a thick jumper or anything like that underneath. I will probably layer it up over dresses, you know, jeans and a simple top, or even just like my running leggings and a top or something like that, you know. So I don't feel like I'm going to have anything too bulky underneath. But this is the reason that I've procrastinated making it, is purely because of the size. And I've never made a Lara Sanna pattern before, so I have no idea as to what size range I fall into. And it just isn't, it's not helpful when the finished garment measurements aren't on there, you know. So yeah, I don't know. But I feel as well that perhaps I've been a bit scared about making it because of installing the poppers, because I've never installed anything like that before other than the little plastic ones. These are more sort of big ones. I don't even know how you attach them as yet. Yeah, so that is one that I'd really like to get done, especially as we're sort of heading into the summer months. I think it would be a nice lightweight raincoat basically. So yeah, if you have any thoughts on that one, let me know. The next one is a newer fabric, which hasn't been in my stash very long because I've just shared this with you recently, and it's this gorgeous quilted fabric that I got from Higgs and Higgs whilst I was at the Sewing for Pleasure show. And with this one, I'm going to be making the Nielsen Hovia jacket, and it's this version here that I want to make, so the shorter one. And I'm just a little bit scared about cutting into this fabric because A, it was very expensive, and also I am debating on the size again. Now this one obviously does give you the finished garment measurements on the chart, which is great, but it is quite a boxy style, so the bust, hips and waist are all the same. Now I've been kind of leaning towards making the size 8, which is for a body measurement of bust 36 inch, waist 28 inch and hips 38 inch, which obviously the waist and hips is smaller than what I am, but the finished garment measurement for that size for the bust, waist and hips is 40, is it 47? Yeah, 47 and 3/4, I think that says. So I feel like that's quite a lot of ease, and when I have looked on Instagram at other people who have made this jacket, I know that they have all sized down, and I know a lady commented on my video previously about this pattern to say size down, but I'm not sure whether to size down by 1 or 2 sizes. So again, if you have made this and have experience on what you feel the size would be good for me, let me know, because the size 6, which I was debating between the size 6 and the 8, the finished garment measurement for the 6 is 46 inches and 3/4. So there's only about an inch difference between the two sizes, but I felt like if I went up to the size 10, that gives the finished garment measurement of 48 and a 3/4 inch, I think that says. Yeah, and that bust measurement is a lot bigger than what I am, although the waist and hips is slightly smaller again on the body measurement chart. So if I was going to go with like purely by my body measurements, it would be putting me in the size 6 for the bust, 12 for the waist and 14 for the hip. But I think I just want to make one straight size because I don't think my hip measurement is going to matter too much because I'm going to be doing the cropped version, so it's not going to be sitting right on the widest part of my hips, and because my waist is the smallest area, I don't want it to drown me too much, but I do still want enough room underneath it to wear a jumper perhaps later on in the year. Yeah, so let me know, see if you can help me out with that. So that is my 3 fabrics that I've kind of picked out that are fairly precious to me in a way. A little bit scared of cutting into them either because of the fabric or because of the pattern. So yeah, the two patterns that I've just spoke about, the Hovea, yes, jacket, that one and the Lara Sanna raincoat, those patterns haven't changed with my fabric choices, but the boiled wool, I have changed my pattern choice for that because I just feel like I'm never going to get round to doing it if I stick with the Sew Over It Chloe coat. Now, just talking about the Sew Over It Chloe coat, actually, I have bought the sort of online workshop to coincide with making that up, so I do feel like I will have my hand held with it, but I do know that I am going to have to make alterations for it to fit my body appropriately. So I will make that, but it just won't be for Me Made May. I'm going to do it further down the line with the fabric that I bought to make the toile version, and then maybe in the future I could make it again, because I do have some other boiled wool which was a cheaper one than this, in a navy blue, but I think I was planning on making that into sort of a cropped Coco Chanel type of jacket. Yeah, we'll see, but yeah, at least I will get around to making that Chloe coat eventually, and then if I ever buy any more boiled wool, I can make it then, can't I? But yeah, I just feel like this one deserves to be made into something now. Yeah, so that is my pledge then for Me Made May. So I'm really excited to do this approach this time because I think it's going to force my Sewcial to come back, because it really did take a massive dive during April. I didn't unfortunately get round to finishing some of the things that I wanted to make for the challenges that were going on in April. So yeah, it just got up and left the building, and I would really like it to return so I can just enjoy making some garments for myself again. So yeah, although we're going into summer and these are outer garments, I do feel like these will still get worn. So yeah, that's great. So I hope you have enjoyed this video today. Please give me that all important like if you have done so, and subscribe if you've not already done so as well. That would be lovely. Thank you very much for joining me, and I shall see you again soon. Take care. Bye.